Namaste everyone. And today it's a very interesting topic. We will be discussing about perspectives from scientists on divinity and God. Just imagine you are traveling in a bus and suddenly a white man comes and sits next to you. You may wonder, who is he? You have no idea. But suddenly somebody introduces you that he is Bill Gates. And as soon as you see he is a Bill Gates, you remember Microsoft Word, Windows 10, MSN, Bing, Xbox, so on and so forth. And your appreciation for your co-passenger will immensely increase. Why your appreciation has increased? Because now you know the creation. Exactly this thought followed the scientists when they thought that we will appreciate God better by studying the creation of God. And here we are going to see 10 odd quotes from the greatest of the great scientists and what their opinion about existence of God. So we begin with Isaac Newton, who is very famous for the law of universal gravitation, laws of motion, calculus, so on and so forth. And he says, this most beautiful system of sun, planets and comets could only proceed from the counsel and the dominion of an intelligent and the powerful being. So this is from the Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, the General Scholium. So here we see that the scientist as great as Newton did accept there has to be an intelligent, powerful being, a design behind the universe. In fact, the very word cosmos is defined as orderly designed universe. And whenever you say orderly, there has to be someone who is setting the order. Whenever we say design, there has to be someone, there is a designer. Let's come to the next quote. This is by Albert Einstein on the spirit of the universe. So this quote is taken from 1936 letter of Albert Einstein, who is very famous for theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, photoelectric effect, so on and so forth. So here Albert Einstein says, everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of the universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man. Einstein or the likes of the scientists may not have agreed the dogmatic idea of the God, but they always looked forward to superior power, superior energy, superior being, superior intellect who is governing the universe. And then the next one, Galileo Galilei, who improved the telescope, they discovered the 4 moons of Jupiter, laws of motion, and he was literally the first one who proposed the heliocentric model of the universe. So he says, I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason and intellect has intended us to forego their use. So it was always that utilizing the God-given abilities to understand the nature of the world, to understand the reason behind the world. The next one is Max Planck. So Max Planck is very famous for the quantum physics. He is known as the father of quantum physics. And he has a very interesting quote on science and religion. This is from his lecture in 1937. Max Planck, he says, both religion and science require belief in God. Mind you, these words. These are not coming from some typical dogmatic religious person. No. These are the scientists, the who's who scientists we are talking about, the founding fathers of the science. And he's saying both religion and science required belief in God. For believers, God is in the beginning, and for the physicists, he is at the end of all considerations. To the former, he is the foundation, and to the latter, the crown of the edifice of every generalized worldview. This is Max Planck. Next we go, Werner Heisenberg, who is discovering science through God. Now you may know him as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, quantum mechanics. So now in his recollections he writes, the first gulp of glass of the natural science will turn you into atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. So there is a very beautiful quote, later also will come, that the first gulp of the glass of natural science will turn you into atheist. So when you start sipping science, you may feel, oh, I will be atheist. With the natural laws are explaining everything. but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. Beautiful, beautiful quote by Heisenberg. Then here it is, the Maxwell, James Clerk Maxwell. He's very famous for the Maxwell's equations, electromagnetic theory, kinetic theory of gases. All this comes from the Maxwell. Now in his letter to Campbell, he writes, "The only desire which I can have is like David to serve my own generation by the will of God and then fall asleep." So this is about Maxwell. Then here is a quote from the Pascal. Pascal, very famous for Pascal's triangle, Pascal's law, contribution to the probability theory. So on the God-shaped vacuum. Mind you, these quotes are predominantly from the Western scientists. We are not taking the quotes from Ramanujan or the Indian scientists quote, because at times there is a feeling that Indian scientists are naturally inclined towards being theistic, and that's why this video entirely is based on the scientists. Of course, the very famous quote by Ramanujan. He says that every mathematical equation is a puzzle of God that I want to solve, and he was a great devotee of Mahalakshmi, and he felt that he's always feeling, the great Ramanujan, his always feeling was that every mathematical equation is a prasad coming from Mahalakshmi. So purposefully we are not covering the Indian scientists here. Purposefully we are covering only the Western scientists and their understanding and their faith in God and their service to science as service to God. So the Pascal here, there is a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man which cannot be filled by any created being, but only by God, the Creator, made known to us through saints. So here Pascal is talking about God, Creator, who is a creator, and then knowing the God through saints, just like the science is known through professors. Then here it is, Sir Francis Bacon. He is famous for the empirical philosophy, the scientific methods, and various essays. So he writes in the book called as Of Atheism. Beautiful quote. Okay, beautiful quote this is. A little bit of science estranges a man from God, and a lot of science bring him back to God. Okay, a little bit of science will make you atheist, and lot of science will make you theist. So this is Sir Francis Bacon. And this is now it is quote by Arthur Edington, Insights on a Universal Mind. Okay, and Edington is famous for the stellar structures, Eddington's limit, relativity theory contribution along with Einstein. So he quotes, "The idea of universal mind or the logos would be, I think, a fairly plausible inference from the present state of scientific theory." So they always worked about there has to be a universal personality, universal intellect, universal mind who is shaping this entire universe into what it is now. And this will blow you up. Now, many times Big Bang is thought of, that which excludes God from creation. And the person who suggested the Big Bang theory, who proposed the Big Bang theory, this is Abbé Georges Lemaitre. Now, his insights on Big Bang theory indicating the existence of God. Now, this is the recollection of Lemaitre along with Einstein, and that's what the photograph you see here, and you see a pic of a Big Bang as well. So he writes, so here, he's being quoted as, "I was there when Lemaitre proposed the Big Bang theory in 1927, and which was published in 1931. When he came up with the idea of the Big Bang, and he told me about it, and then he whispered to me that the idea was beautiful and showed the existence of God." This is by Abbé Georges Lemaitre, who is famous for Big Bang theory, Hubble's law, primeval atom, so on and so forth. So for him, Big Bang was a beautiful idea and showed directly the existence of God, how he created universe. So thank you very much. Do connect to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about which is the most famous, most favorite quote of these great scientists. Thank you.